Well, it's 7 o'clock sharp, so I'll go ahead and get started. Thanks everyone for joining. This is the Immune Boosting Superfood and Supplements webinar, and my name is Joleen Gruber. I'm super excited to go over quite a few interesting immune boosters and builders tonight. I'm going to focus on bone broth, how to use it, and why you should. We're also going to talk about 5 immune boosters that can help you and your family stay healthy, and the link between vitamin D and your health. And lastly, maintaining a healthier lifestyle for a healthier you. So I am Joleen Gruber. Thank you guys so much for joining. And just a little about me. I've been a nutritionist for 20 years now. I'm Organica's national educator. I'm also a mom. I have 2 boys. They're 15 and 16 and a half. And they're busy playing sports. I'm an athlete. I've played sports my whole life, specifically soccer. So I've always been interested in nutrition and just nutrition to stay healthy, keep my family healthy. So I'm going to go over a lot of things tonight to do with immunity and superfoods. But as I mentioned earlier, please use the chat box to ask any questions. I will talk for about 45 minutes, and then I'll look at the questions at the end. So please chat to me any questions that you might have. But, just for audience participation, we'll just wait till the end. But I'll just go ahead and get started. And I encourage you guys to use the chat box and ask questions, because no question is a wrong question. So let's start with the immune system. Why do you need to support your immune system? Well, a healthy immune system protects us by first creating a barrier that stops those invaders from entering the body. And if one slips by the barrier, the immune system produces white blood cells and other chemicals and proteins that attack and destroy these foreign substances. So that's kind of can be a little bit confusing, but I always like to use the analogy of our tonsils. So if you think about our tonsils, and actually a lot of people, children in general, get their tonsils out, and they're getting removed even more and more today. And I just remember reading years ago when I was studying nutrition, probably close to 20 years ago, and the quote just stuck with me, and it was called, taking out the tonsils is like ripping out a ringing fire alarm instead of tending to the fire. And that really made sense to me, because wouldn't it make sense to get to the root of the tonsillitis and build the immune system if we're constantly getting, a sore throat or tonsillitis? Our tonsils are our first line of defense. So the root of that would be our immune system. So I really love getting to the root of things. And there's so many natural ways and supplements and things that we eat that can really get to the root of that. So that is one that just stuck with me. So really, if you're looking at lifestyle and even the amount of sugar someone consumes, that can really suppress our immune system. So speaking of sugar, does sugar really suppress the immune system? Well, studies have shown spikes in sugar intake suppress your immune system. I think for every tablespoon of sugar you have, it depletes your immune system or takes it back for about 3 to 4 hours. So when your immune system is compromised, you're more likely to get sick. If you think about, all the major holidays that are, sugar holidays like Halloween, Christmas, Easter, those are ones I remember when my kids were smaller, they would get sick because they would just consume too much, and then your immune system would get weak. So if you eat a lot of foods and beverages that are high in sugar or refined carbohydrates, because refined carbohydrates turn to sugar very quickly, which the body processes as sugar, you may be reducing your body's ability to ward off sickness. So first and foremost, we want to watch the sugars. We want to eliminate any sugary drinks and increase the healing drinks. So there's so many great things that we can swap out for those sugary drinks, like bone broths and teas and things like that. So really try to eliminate those sugary drinks. And like I said, most people do not consume enough water during the day. So I have some great ways that we can add some flavoring to water that's natural and healthy that I'll talk about in a little bit. But really trying to eliminate the sugar in the coffee. And you don't have to do that right away, but if we're really trying to eliminate the sugars, in our drinks, and we're swapping them out with like healthy bone broths and other, herbal teas, that's a great way to eliminate sugar in general. Because as a society, North Americans, we drink a lot of sugar. So speaking of bone broth, what is bone broth? Bone broth is a liquid, so it's made from boiling animal bones and connective tissues. And chefs use it as stock for a base for soups, sauces, and gravies. And some people drink it on its own. You heard me speak about a bone broth or a bone broth tea. So it's been made for centuries, and it's basically made by boiling the chicken or the beef bones for 24 hours. And then the bones are strained from the broth. And then you would have this healthy broth that's left over. Now, when you do this, the broth is loaded with minerals. It has lots of nutrients like collagen and so many vitamins and minerals. If you can think about, if you cook a turkey at Christmas or at Thanksgiving, which I usually do, whenever you have the leftovers and I put that turkey in the fridge, the next day when I bring it out, I can see all that jelly, like the liquid turns to jelly. Well, that's collagen. So that's all the good stuff. And also mixed in there is all those nutrients and minerals. So when my kids were toddlers, I used to give them lukewarm bone broth in a sippy cup. And it was just great for bones and teeth and growing and just loaded in minerals and lots of good stuff. So I encourage people to try bone broth. Now, unfortunately, I'm not making a turkey every day. So Organica has made a wonderful bone broth, which I'll talk about as well, because it makes it really convenient. So instead of, although I would love to be cooking a turkey every day, I just don't have the time. So we've kind of done the work for you. We boil our bones for 24 hours. It's dried, it's, super clean. It's cage-free chickens from the US, and they're only fed organic grain with no corn or soy. So this is just a great way because it's a powder form. I just take it every day and I use it in a tea or I use it in my cooking. There's lots of ways to use it, but it's again very rich in protein, collagen, gelatin, glucosamine, hyaluronic acid, chondroitin, and many key minerals like calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium, and phosphorus. So very, very good tool to use, as I mentioned, to swap out with some of those sugary drinks, a habit that I love to get into. When I get home at the end of the day from work, I'll always make a bone broth tea. So I'll just boil the kettle like I would a normal tea. I'd put 2 teaspoons or tablespoons, depending on the size of your mug, add the hot water, and I put a little bit of sea salt, and that is so tasty and it's so nutritious. So instead of having maybe a not so healthy drink, it's kind of nice at the end of the day. I also love that there's a great source of protein in there as well, because as society, we don't get enough protein, and you're just sort of topping up your tank with protein, which is fabulous. So again, they're grass-fed, pasture-raised cows from Europe, and non-GMO, hypoallergenic, antibiotic and hormone-free. They're also tested for heavy metals and pesticides. So there's so many ways to incorporate broths. And of course, a tea is just one of them, but you can cook with them. You can sprinkle them on veggies. It's endless, whatever you want. I kind of treat it like, think of it as like a salt or a pepper. You can add it to things as well. So, try it. Try swapping out maybe your 3 o'clock coffee, usually in corporate offices, usually 3 o'clock. I remember years ago, I used to work in corporate, and at 3 o'clock, everyone would run down to the vending machines, coffee, pop, and a bag of chips or something unhealthy just to get us to 5 o'clock. So this is something, at 3 o'clock, maybe have a bone broth tea, and it's loaded in good nutrients and protein to sort of keep your blood sugar even, and you're not getting those spikes in insulin from too much refined sugars. So you can drink it like a tea or a soup. You can even add some vegetables to it if you wanted, but an easy way to start is just by adding it to soups or stews or veggies and drinking it like a tea. Feel free to take a picture with your phone of this next slide. This is my all-time favorite recipe. I've actually been making it for close to 10 years. And when I started working for Organica almost 3 years ago, I started adding the Organica turmeric chicken bone broth. So it just kicks it up a notch, and it's amazing. So if you like spice, you will love it. If you are not a spice fan, I would just stick with the Organica chicken bone broth, not turmeric. So take a picture of this. Feel free to try it. I love it. It's amazing, and it's really hearty. I do it in the crock pot, but it's a great nutritious meal that I use with the bone broth. People always love recipes, so I always like to share those. So just to go over again some of the bone broth benefits, it's great because it promotes satiety and weight management. And the reason it does that is because of the protein. So anytime we add protein to a snack or a meal or a drink, we buffer that insulin spike. So it's great because of that. It supports gut health. That collagen in there is amazing for gut health. Any people that are dealing with leaky gut or irritable bowel syndrome really need support in that gut area. So that collagen and those minerals in there are really supportive. It also helps to relieve upper and lower respiratory tract infections. That's because of the amount of vitamins and minerals. The joint health it supports is wonderful because of all the hyaluronic acid, the collagen that's so fabulous for joint health. It maintains psychological health, and I think that's because of the protein as well, and some of the good fats in there. Anytime we're having that, and our blood sugar is normal, it affects our mood. Food and mood are very connected. So it also improves sport recovery and whole body protein profile. And that is, again, because of the protein. Amazing source of protein. I find most adults today get way too many carbohydrates, especially the refined carbohydrates, and we don't get enough protein. So not only are you getting a great source of protein in bone broth, but you're also getting those vitamins, those minerals, those collagens, all those benefits. So it's very good because it has a low insulin potential. Anytime our blood sugar is balanced, it's great for our brain health and of course our sport recovery. So swap it out for those sugary drinks, maybe just start baby steps and start with just a bone broth tea in the afternoon, see how you feel. And over time, you'll find you start to crowd out the junk and there's no room for anything really unhealthy, only once in a while for a treat, maybe. Organica also has a wonderful veggie broth, and it's a whole food nutrition from real organic vegetables and nutritional yeast. So this is great for those vegetarians out there that do not want to consume animal products. There's 4 grams of protein per serving, and it contains an adaptogenic mushroom called organic tremella mushroom. And this is fabulous because it is very high in hyaluronic acid, tremella mushroom is. So hyaluronic acid really binds moisture, which is not only great for skin health, especially as we age. I find a lot of women that are entering that perimenopause and menopause stage notice there's a lot of drying in the skin. So hyaluronic acid, because it binds moisture, it keeps the moisture in our skin. But not only that, it's great for our eyes. If people complain of dry eyes, it's great for lubricating the eyes. It's also fabulous for lubricating the joints because hyaluronic acid is in our synovial fluid in the joints. So fabulous source of that in the tremella mushroom. It's low in sodium. It's super delicious. And I think it's so delicious because they added that nutritional yeast in there and it just tastes lovely. It's probably one of my favorite ones to use alongside of the turmeric spicy chicken broth. But of course, there's 37 servings per bottle, which is amazing. And it's vegan friendly, it's non-GMO, it's super clean, being gluten-free. It's also made with organic ingredients, and it's a good source of L-glutamine, which is great for the gut. So, and the L-glutamine comes from the vegetables. So great to add again, however you like. You can make teas if you want to sprinkle it on popcorn, you can do that. There's lots of ways to use it. What's the difference between, I talked a little bit about bone broth, but the question comes up all the time, what's the difference between collagen and bone broth? I get a little bit confused. I did mention that there is collagen in our chicken bone broth. It's also in our beef bone broth. You can see the picture, the purple container there is our beef bone broth. And sometimes people are like, well, what's the difference? So really, just to quickly give you a breakdown, think of bone broth as a general overall support for the body. It contains a wealth of key nutrients, like I mentioned, including proteins like collagen that are rich in amino acids. And it also contains lots of minerals. Okay, so you're getting that calcium, magnesium, all those good minerals, and the joint friendly gags that are nutrients for collagen. So chicken bone broth contains type 2 collagen, amazing for digestive healing and great for immunity. So with the bone broth, you're getting all those nutrients, all those minerals, you're getting some collagen. Remember that jelly like when you take the turkey out of the fridge the next day. And with collagen, it's more of a concentrated source. So bone broth has collagen in it, and collagen, just moving to the next slide, collagen is the most abundant form of protein in the body. So think of collagen as, it's a concentrated source of collagen that we've extracted. So bone broth does have collagen in it, along with some other key minerals and some vitamins as well. And collagen is the most abundant form of protein in the body. It gives us strength, elasticity, tone, and essential structure. Although we may think of collagen only in our skin, as I mentioned before, it's also found throughout the bodies, from muscle fibers and bone matrix to our blood vessels. And collagen is the protein responsible for strong and flexible connective tissues. So very, very important. It goes everywhere throughout our body. I like to say, think of it as the glue that holds everything together. And in our 20s, our collagen production starts to go down about 1% a year, which is quite a lot. And, so obviously I started taking collagen in my 40s and I noticed benefits. So you can take it anytime, but just note in our 20s, it does start to decrease. So it's really important to make sure we're, getting that support as we age, or even the more we participate in sports. Like I know a lot of elite athletes, they have a lot of wear and tear on their muscles, on their joints. So they may want to start using collagen a lot earlier. And it's just really important to make sure you're supporting your skin, your hair, your nails, your joints, and so on, because the less collagen in our body leads to a loss of elasticity, strength, tone throughout the body. And you really notice it in signs of aging. And certain signs of aging can be seen as fine lines and wrinkles, brittle nails, cellulite, sagging skin, loss of moisture, as I mentioned, weak ligaments, aching joints, arthritis, and cartilage injuries. So that's just some of the main areas that we can see a little bit of a deficiency. And really the main types of collagen, this question comes up a lot. So there's many types of collagen. There's probably over 27, but let's break down the three most common. So the three types of collagen you'll see in our bodies are type 1, 2, and 3. So type 1, think of it as the exterior of our body from hair, skin, and nails. Type 2 is the connective tissues, joints, ligaments, and cartilages. And type 3 would be the muscle fibers and organs, liver, lungs, and kidneys. So supplemental collagen is mainly found as type 1. So if you look at the chart here on the right, you can see a type 1 is a common, a marine collagen would be a type 1 collagen only. So it's sourced from fish scales and skins. So you think of type 1 collagen, if you're looking for that hair, skin, nail support, type 1 collagen would be marine collagen, and that would be a great collagen for someone to use. I'll give you an example. If a woman just had a baby, and sometimes a lot of women experience some hair loss, or as we age, we experience some hair loss as well. So if you want to, support that hair, the marine collagen would be great for that, but it's also great for the skin and the nails. So if someone was looking for that, type 1 for marine collagen is great. If you look at the bovine collagen, that's sourced from the hides of cattle, and it's a type 1 and a type 3 collagen. So it kind of combines the two. So if someone was, needing some hair, skin, nail support, maybe some joint support as well, the bovine would be a great product to try. And then we have our chicken, which is type 2 collagen. So that would be our bone broth that I talked about. And that's the sternum, bones, and cartilages. So that's really high in type 2 collagen. So I really like this chart because it really explains the most common types of collagen and how they're sourced. Those are the most questions we get here at Organica, is what's the best, what's for me? And like I said at the beginning, it really depends on what your need is. So what makes a great collagen supplement? Well, before you commit to any collagen supplement, make sure you do your research. So remember that not all collagen products are the same, and collagen has so many benefits for our body. And to make sure that you reap those benefits, you want to make sure you get the best collagen at the cleanest source possible. So I'm using collagen daily, and it's what you do every day that makes your health, not what you do once in a while, right? So if you're using something once a day, please make sure you do your research and use a good source. So here's a few important factors to think about when choosing a collagen supplement. 100% hydrolyzed. So what does that mean? It's the enzymatic process of breaking it down into a smaller molecule. So basically, so we can absorb it really well. And it's yes, a peptide. So sometimes you'll hear peptides and hydrolyzed collagen mean the same thing. And yes, it does. So the process actually makes it more bioavailable, and bioavailable means you're actually absorbing it really well. So it's absorbed rapidly in the bloodstream, and it's used by the body to help with our collagen formation. So 100% hydrolyzed is really important. Also, when something is 100% hydrolyzed, it's going to be odorless and flavorless. So you want to look for that on your labels. If it's not 100% hydrolyzed, it may have a smell or a taste and you may not like it. And if it is 100% hydrolyzed, you should notice that it's odorless and flavorless. And that's really important. I mean, I put it in my coffee in the morning and I don't want to have a taste, right? So I like that it's odorless and flavorless. If I was adding to food and some other things, sometimes you don't, that takes on the flavor of the food. But for the point of my coffee and putting collagen in there, I like that it's odorless and flavorless. And of course, it's 100% hydrolyzed, which is very clean and very absorbable by the body. Number two is sourcing. You want to make sure it's sustainably sourced, grass-fed, pasture-raised, free of any growth hormones, antibiotics, heavy metals, and toxins. Again, if you're using it frequently every day, you really want to make sure you're using a clean product. It's what you do every day, not once in a while, right? Make sure it's tested for GMOs as well. Number three, choose a collagen that is flavorless and odorless. I already mentioned that. So as I said, some collagens on the market don't taste that great. I've heard that before. I've got that question a lot. Does it really not taste? Does it really not smell? So again, 100% hydrolyzed collagen should have no flavor or taste, and it should be heat stable. So I mentioned I put it in my coffee. Sometimes you put it in smoothies. So it should be able to go into hot liquids or cold liquids and stay stable, which means it doesn't, lose its nutritional value. A flavorless and odorless collagen can fit into your lifestyle easily. As I mentioned, I put mine in my coffee. I could put it in a smoothie. There's so many ways you can bake with it and you can use it so many ways. My kids sometimes on Sunday mornings, they want to make pancakes and, cheat a little bit. So I'll tell them to throw in a couple scoops of collagen. They don't even taste it, but at least with their chocolate chips or blueberries and all that syrup they put on it, at least they're getting some protein and some good stuff for their joints as well. That they don't notice it, so it's just an added bonus for their cheat day. But it can be really simple. Like I said, coffee, smoothies, yogurt, baking goods, anything like that you can add it to, which is awesome. A lot of people wonder, how much collagen do I need every day? So you can see at the bottom, your body weight in kilograms times 30% is about the collagen needed. Having said that, if you're a high-end elite athlete, you're going to have a lot more wear and tear, and you may need a little bit more. My son had an elbow surgery a couple years ago, and I was giving him more because he really needed that support in his joint. It was an elbow surgery and he had a screw put in his elbow. So I really wanted that collagen support, all those vitamins and minerals. So it really depends on the person. But having said that, as little as 10 grams a day is a great start. And that's just one serving. So that's a good place to start. And until you get used to it, if you haven't used the collagen before, but when you consume this amount daily, most people will notice their nails and hair grow faster. Maybe their skin is a little bit better and their joints stop aching. So that's a good place to start. I like to suggest eating a really healthy diet. I'm a big fan of the 80-20 rule, where 80% of the time you eat well, 20% of the time you can, celebrate, cheat, live it up. If you're going out for a birthday, have cake, enjoy yourself. But unfortunately today, people are doing the reverse. They're eating well 20% of the time and cheating 80% of the time. So you really want to make sure you're eating well, because food is foundation, right? Good foods are amazing. And I like to think of collagen as a food, and it fills in the gaps. Sometimes I'm really busy and I didn't get enough protein. I just know from the day I didn't maybe eat enough protein. So I love that I can just sneak it in my food and get that protein and all those other benefits that you get from collagen. So if you want to consume more collagen, you can make up the 30% of your daily protein with collagen. So that's great. Some people throw it in their electrolytes. Some people throw it in coconut water. There's so many things you can do just to get it in and make it simple. So the average person needs about 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight. So if you weighed 60 kilograms, which is 132 pounds, you'll need about 60 grams of protein per day. Now, if you were a nursing woman, breastfeeding woman, you'd need more. If you were a high-end athlete, you would need more. So it's roughly around 18 grams a day, but of course, everyone's different. And just remember that collagen is a protein. So if you're over consuming it, it means you're getting extra calories from it. I've had that question come up, and bear in mind, Collagen is not like a complete protein. It's not intended to replace a healthy diet, but it should be a great protein source. It should not be your main protein source, but you know, most people find that it's great to add and slide it in, into their diet every day. So let's talk about the enhanced collagen. You've seen this picture pop up on a couple slides. So Organica is actually the #1 selling collagen powder in Canada. So we're compliant with Health Canada's regulations. So all those, non-GMO, grass-fed, all those things you're looking for in the sourcing is there. There's 9 grams of protein per serving, as I mentioned. It's a blend of types 1 and 3 collagen. So that's type 1 collagen is great for hair, skin, and nails. And then type 3 collagen is great for your joints. So it's grass-fed bovine and it's pasture raised. So free of any added hormones and antibiotics. So again, if you're consuming something every day like collagen, you want to make sure it's clean, okay? It's flavorless and odorless. It can be added to any hot or cold drink or recipe. It's easily soluble. It mixes up really easily, and you don't really need to mix, with blenders or anything like that. You just add the tablespoon or 2 in, and it's very easy. And it's a low molecular weight, so 2,000 to 3,000 Daltons. What that means is it's really absorbable. So it's been, it's very bioavailable and it gets absorbed in the system. Sometimes if you have higher molecular weight, it's harder to absorb. So it's nice that we have a low molecular weight. We have many types of collagen at Organica. So if you look at the far right, we have a vitality collagen in the green matcha. That's why it says energized. I'll move from the right to the left. And as I said before, our enhanced collagen is odorless and flavorless. Now for the vitality, we've added a little bit of green matcha. So this one takes on a bit of a matcha taste. So it is 100% hydrolyzed, but because we've added the matcha, that's why there will be a little bit of a taste. And if you need that alert calm during the day, and you don't want to have a cup of coffee, it's a great way to have a little latte or a great way to get a little, a little boost without having that caffeine spike. So moving on to the left, we have our relaxed enhanced collagen, and that is, we call chill. That's a chill mood because we've added some magnesium and some L-theanine. If you look to the left, that's our original enhanced collagen. So again, strong hair, skin, nails, bones, joints, all that great stuff, 100% flavorless and odorless. And then our new beautiful Pure Beauty. We've added lots of great stuff in the new Pure Beauty, like hydrolyze, the collagen is there. We've added hyaluronic acid, vitamin C, silica, and zinc. So if you're looking for that added beauty support, it's quite amazing. It strengthens your hair. It prevents hair loss. It's just so good. And it's if you're looking for that support, I encourage you guys to try that one. Next, we're going to talk about zinc. Speaking of zinc in the Pure Beauty, zinc is so great for the immune system, and it's so great that it's in so many food sources. And usually I find that people don't get enough zinc, and it's one of those nutritionally essential trace minerals that you need regularly in your body. And you can have deficiencies, and it's also really great for building the immune system or boosting the immune system if you're sick. So the recommended dietary allowance per day for men is only 11 milligrams, and women it's 8 milligrams. But long-term consumption of zinc in excess of the tolerable upper intake level can result in copper deficiency. So of course you want to watch that, but zinc is so great for so many things. It's amazing for wound healing. It builds the immune system. Like I said, it's an immune builder and a booster. So if you find that you're getting colds or sicknesses quite often, zinc is a great tool to use that to help build the immune system. Remember at the beginning, I talked about people that are getting tonsillitis or other illnesses. Well, the root of that is your immune system. So zinc is a great immune builder. Of course, if you get sick, you can take zinc as well as a booster to help fight it, but so amazing for the body. And it also helps the body make protein. So if anyone has teenagers, I notice with my kids, they're, as I mentioned, 15 and 16 and a half. If they ever get a few breakouts, with puberty, zinc is amazing because it helps with skin acne or any skin problems, like amazingly. So if you have kids or friends that are experiencing that, zinc is fabulous. It's also great for reproductive and prostate. It's a fabulous antioxidant because our soils are so deficient today because of the farming practices. So, they're just turning soils, and the soils are very depleted of zinc, and we're not getting it from our food. So we're growing these foods and they're deficient in the zinc. So our food sources are very deficient. So we're finding we have to supplement with them now. So if you're looking for food sources, seafood is great. Beans, oysters, wheat germ, brewer's yeast, pumpkin seeds, and eggs. So pumpkin seeds are great too if they're raw and they're organic. And eggs, of course, are a great source. And you're getting a complete protein with the eggs. You're getting all the amino acids. So back in the day, they used to say eggs, oh, do we have the yolk? Do we not have the yolk? Cholesterol, whatever. And no, you have the whole egg. It's wonderful. Even if you're watching your cholesterol, you have high cholesterol, they've gone back and forth and saying, oh, don't have the yolk. No, have the yolk. You have the yolk. It's wonderful. Especially if you have the yolk runny, if you're eating eggs, that's even better, because when the eggs are runny, they have a nutrient called lecithin, which is very good for cholesterol. It's a good HDL cholesterol, right? The HDL helps emulsify the LDL cholesterol and rid it from the body. So if you're eating eggs, have it poached, have the egg runny, and you're getting all 22 amino acids, which is amazing source of protein. And of course, you're getting the zinc as well. Organica has a fabulous zinc supplement for kids and for adults. It's the same formulation. And again, if you're finding, over, in the winter, your family might be, having some colds or just not feeling that great, it helps with immune function. It maintains healthy bones. And of course, again, hair, nail, and skin. Those skin issues, I swear zinc is so great for any skin issue. It's fabulous. Next, I'll move on to vitamin C. Vitamin C is a water-soluble vitamin. Of course, it's probably one of the most widely used supplement next to magnesium, I'd say. And it's also known as ascorbic acid. It is a great antioxidant. And it's the most widely known vitamin in our modern world, and it decreases the severity of the cold. You go into the cold and flu section of Healthy Planet, you'll see lots of vitamin C. So we don't make vitamin C, so we have to rely on it from food and vitamin sources. So absolutely important. I find a lot of people don't get enough vitamin C in their diet anyways. So it's really important for collagen in the skin, the elasticity, our gums, our bones, our teeth. It promotes better skin health. It's essential for iron absorption. So if anyone is taking iron supplements, you want to make sure you're taking vitamin C with it, whether from a food source or a supplement source, because it helps absorb the iron better when you take vitamin C. It reduces the risk of gout. So gout is a form of arthritis that can start as swelling or tenderness and redness in the joints. A lot of times it happens in the big toe. It's more common in men than women, but it does happen in women. And it's caused by the buildup of uric acid crystals, and they haven't properly left the body. So this is where vitamin C comes in if people suffer from gout. It's shown to really help get rid of the uric acid in the body. So it's great. So the more vitamin C you have, you significantly reduce your risk of gout. So that's a bonus for sure, because I've never had gout, but I hear it is very, very painful. So it's a potent immune builder and booster. There's so many supplements. Organica even carries a gout-ridden product, which is fabulous for gout, but you want to make sure you're taking vitamin C as well, just because no one wants to get the gout. It's important if anyone's taking the birth control pill, because that actually depletes your vitamin C stores. And we use up vitamin C when we're stressed, or, we just spill it out along with our magnesium. And any smoking, vaping destroys vitamin C. So as you can see, when people age, if they've been smoking for many years, you can see they kind of have that grayer tone of their skin. That's from the lack of vitamin C. So you want to make sure that that destroys vitamin C. And really good sources of vitamin C include green GLVs, which is green leafy vegetables, tomato, squash, cabbage, broccoli, of course, vitamin C in oranges, and all those red, yellow, and green vegetables and fruits are amazing sources of vitamin C. And as I mentioned before, it's a potent immune builder and booster. So just as all antioxidants are, a regular intake of about 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C can help shorten the length of a cold, right? So it's fabulous to take every day. Sometimes people say vitamin C is like a, a facelift in the bottle because it's just so good for your skin. And usually, if we're stressed out and, we're not taking it through food or supplements, we can really notice it on the skin. So you want to make sure that you're taking your vitamin C for all the bodily functions that it needs. And it's not only important for, the skin, but collagen production, all that stuff, that's included in the skin profile, because it's an important antioxidant. It's great for the free radical damage that we can experience. So free radicals are kind of everywhere. They're in the environment, they're in our cell phones, our computers. And we have to make sure when we are in contact with free radicals, or, even a great workout, we can produce free radicals, but we want to make sure we're replenishing with antioxidants, right? So we want to make sure we're getting those antioxidants every day. Talking about antioxidants and, immune builders and boosters, I want to go over bee propolis because this is a fabulous product. And a lot of people have questions around bee propolis because they don't really understand what it is. And I just love explaining it because in nature's so fabulous, right? The way Mother Nature works. I love the saying, Mother Nature gets it right, human intervention gets it wrong. So I just think this is so cool because in nature, bees collect materials from tree barks and leaves. They then partially digest this mix into a form resin called propolis, which is used in the maintenance of their hives. So what they do is they chew it in their mouth and they create this resin. And then it works as an antimicrobial agent to keep diseases out of the hives and colonies. It's just so cool the way Mother Nature works, right? And why is bee propolis great for immunity? For humans, it provides a unique source of antioxidants, so another source of antioxidants, and it fights a sore throat, canker sores, and any oral inflammation. It combats viruses, bacteria, and other microbes that create health challenges when left unchecked. So just like the bees use it to protect their hive, it helps us. And it's easy to take in a liquid formula. So you can see in the picture here, there's a little tincture. We also have it in sprays and capsules, but even children can take it, and the elderly if it's in drops or sprays, because it's so convenient. Sometimes people don't like swallowing supplements or capsules or tablets. So it's nice that it's in a liquid form and really easy to take. Next, I'm going to move on to our quercetin and bromelain because this is so great. And we're coming up to March next month already. And quercetin is going to be a fabulous product to use. And I'll just explain the combination of quercetin and bromelain. Why they're together is because quercetin is an antioxidant and it's found in plant foods, and it is great for the antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antihistamine, and antiviral properties. So lots of great things with quercetin. Now, bromelain is a naturally occurring enzyme found in the stem of pineapples that acts as a protein digestive aid. So it's kind of like a digestive enzyme, an aid, that helps with digestion. And it inhibits inflammatory chemicals called prostaglandins. So the bromelain actually helps the absorption of the quercetin. It's nice that they're together. And the bromelain has been shown to decrease inflammation in conditions like arthritis and sinusitis. Bromelain, when in combination with quercetin, helps to improve its absorption. So it's great that they've added the bromelain in there to help with the quercetin for absorption. But as I was saying earlier, next month is March, and March is the time where if anybody suffers from allergies, they want to get on quercetin with bromelain. Okay, I've been talking about quercetin for years, and what happens when people suffer from allergies is in March usually sometimes in Ontario, that's where I am, it's still cold in March, but you never know. You can have, those weird seasons, but start taking quercetin with bromelain in March before the allergy season. So you're getting a good 3-4 weeks of it. And of course, when you're having allergies, what is the root of it? Why? I always get to the root of things, right? Like, why is somebody suffering with allergies? Well, it comes down to leaky gut. So when we're born, our digestive system, we have our intestine, and our intestine is like a cheesecloth. It's semi-permeable. There's little holes. Okay. That's why you can't start feeding babies right away. And, you have to watch them as you start introducing foods to make sure they don't get red or have a reaction. And as a baby, after a baby's born, as they start to grow, that intestine gets smooth. So it goes from semi-permeable to smooth. So unfortunately, as we get older, because of poor lifestyle, diet, we almost get these little fissures in our intestine again, like these little cuts, kind of like when we were born. It's like a semi-permeable cheesecloth again, but it's because of diet and stress. So undigested proteins, when we swallow food and it goes into our stomach and then into our intestine, these undigested proteins go through those little fissures or those little cuts or holes in our intestine and into the bloodstream. So then our immune system starts trying to repair the immune system or the intestinal tract, right? So as it's doing that, that's its main job. All these other allergens in the spring are coming in, and our experience is heightened or exacerbated. So getting to the root of it is heal that digestive tract first. And quercetin with bromelain is a fabulous product to use because you'll find, spring after spring or season after season, allergies improve and get better. Now, of course, the root of it is the leaky gut. Treat the leaky gut, maybe eliminate some foods that are really causing some irritation temporarily. And there's a lot of ways that you can do that. There's a great morning elixir for leaky gut that's on an empty stomach, some aloe vera, not the juice, the sugary juice, but the aloe vera supplement with some probiotics and some liquid chlorophyll. First thing in the morning, that really heals the gut. It's amazing for people with allergies. And then throughout the day, you're going to take the recommended dose of quercetin with bromelain because that'll help with the symptoms. It's great antihistamine for allergies. So you're healing your gut, you're eating good food, and you're taking the quercetin and bromelain. And you're going to do that all of March, all of April, all of May. And anytime, people get different allergies at different time of year, sometimes people will be allergic, in the spring really bad, but they'll be fine for the rest of the summer. Some people get allergies in grass late August. So take it as long as you want. I mean, I have friends that are on it for a long time, the spring and the summer. But really look at ways to heal the gut. I mentioned the collagen, the bone broth are great to include with that elixir in the morning, but the gut is the root of it. So you really want to make sure you're doing that. But the quercetin and the bromelain are so great because it's not only an antioxidant, but as I mentioned, it's an anti-inflammatory. So it's very healing. It's an antihistamine. So all those symptoms you're getting from the allergies, and antiviral properties. So it's really good for your immune system. So many benefits for quercetin with bromelain, especially if you have allergies or you're just looking to improve your immune system. So how to support your immune system? Don't smoke, eat a diet high in fruits and vegetables. Again, try and get those vegetables. What I've been doing with my family is I've been cutting up veggies and just leaving it. So they come home from school, they're just eating veggies. It's there, they'll eat it. So they're just kind of, crowding out the junk. They can't have anything unhealthy. So exercise regularly, drink enough water, maintain a healthy weight, cut down on the sugar, get adequate sleep. If there's one thing you can do to improve your health overnight, it's sleep. Get good sleep. Try to minimize stress and get enough vitamin D daily, especially now we're in February. I hope everyone's been taking their vitamin D since like September. I personally take it year round because it's one of those things that is so important for our immune system and our health. Just to go into vitamin D really quickly, it's the sunshine vitamin, right? It's called the sunshine vitamin because it's produced in your skin's response to sunlight. What do we do in the winter? We cover up, we're cold, we might have a little bit of our head showing, and that's about it. So because vitamin T is a fat soluble vitamin, it's a storing vitamin. So, if you accidentally took 20 drops, not the end of the world, your body will store it, just wait a few days and take some more later. But it's a fat soluble vitamin, so it needs fats to absorb. And your body produces vitamin C naturally when you're outside in the summer. But unfortunately, what a lot of people are doing is they're putting lots of sunscreen on. A lot of women, of course, are, we're worried about anti-aging. We're putting sunscreen on our face and all over, but really you want to get a great 10 to 20 minutes in the sun every day if you can in the summer. And that is fabulous without sunscreen. So we're not to the point to burn, these are what dermatologists are saying, 10 to 20 minutes is fabulous because your skin is actually going to absorb that vitamin D. When we have sunscreen lathered all over us or we're covering up, we're not getting that vitamin D. In Canada, we have colder months where most of our body is covered. So our back and our chest are the biggest surface areas to absorb it. And we're not getting that because we're covering up. And then of course in the winter, we're covering up again. So vitamin D is one of the root causes of several conditions, depression, they say the seasonal mood disorder, that's usually not enough vitamin D. So sunlight, of course, is the best source. And because everyone's avoiding it, we have to make sure we're supplementing. So many people have to be supplementing. I think it's really important to test your vitamin D. It's a factor in good health. And really, people say, well, how much do you need? Well, if you think about people that live close to the equator, they're naturally getting 3,000 IU per day. So I personally take 5,000 a day, right? So it's really important to make sure you're getting enough, but even more important is make sure you're testing. So it costs about $35. You go to any Life Labs, get your vitamin D tested. You want to be at around 150, okay? The scale goes, I think, from 75 to 250, but 150 is a great place. If you ask any naturopathic doctor, that's where you want to be because it's a great, area to be at is about 150. So, and it can tell you how much you need if you're really deficient. I've had people test and they're all at like 70, 60, and they could probably use more. And you really feel better when you're at the 150 mark. So recently, Health Canada increased the daily amount from 1,000 IU to 2,500 per day. So this is fabulous. And Organica has a great new product at Healthy Planet, our 2,500 IUs. So that's just one drop. So super, super easy. As I mentioned before, people that live close to the equator get 3,000 per day. So we want to make sure we're getting enough every day, get tested. Between 70 to 90% of North Americans don't get enough vitamin D. And it's probably, most people probably don't test. So it's one of those, missing links, I think, in many health concerns today, because vitamin D deficiency is the root cause of a number of chronic conditions. So really, really important to test and make sure you're, just knowing where you're at. Take your health into your own hands and test, get copies of your test, hold on to them. And it's nice to, take control of your health and see where you're at and see what you need. And as you do that, swap out a couple things, crowd out the junk, you'll be super healthy and you'll be, eating well 80% of the time, and 20% of the time you can celebrate. Lastly, I just wanted to mention, I hope you guys have a great understanding of the different ways we can build and boost our immune systems naturally and with supplementation. So, today people work hard. We often work the day shift and come home and work the night shift, and kids are running around going crazy. We have second jobs. There's other commitments that make our lives stressful. So for the rest of February, Healthy Planet has all Organica immunity products 20% off. So take advantage. This is a great deal, and take your health into your own hands. I mean, I think it's really important for everybody to, get building and building our immune system and supporting us. So the stronger it is, the easier it'll be to ward off colds and flus. So I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I know I had a lot of information to cover. I hope it was well received, and I hope you understand everything clearly. I will check the chat box now and see if I can answer some of these questions here. There are some. Okay, so is marine or bovine collagen better for you? Well, as I mentioned earlier, marine collagen is fabulous because it's a type 1 collagen, and it is great for hair, skin, and nails. So if you're a person that is looking for thicker hair, stronger hair, skin, and nail support, I'd say that's your go-to. It's your go-to one would be marine collagen. Bovine collagen, if you still want that hair, skin, nail support, but you also have a little achy joints and maybe a little bit of, joint pain, the bovine might be better for you. Maybe you're a pescatarian, you only eat fish and you don't eat beef. So that's an issue as well, that will make someone decide as well. So, that's some of the factors, but hopefully I explained that and you guys can make a good decision in the store. Next question, I'd like to upvote the question for any vegetarian options for the suggestions offered tonight. Okay, so vegetarian suggestions. So of course I talked about our veggie broth, which is fabulous. And then we also have a great plant-based collagen booster. I didn't go over that one tonight. Of course, there's so many great products, but Organica has a lot of them. Plant-based collagen booster is great because it's a plant-based source and it actually has 7 synergistic ingredients that are really good at helping our production of collagen. So that may be an option for you. Next question. Can you take Organica collagen supplement and bone broth? Is that too much collagen? This is a great question. So I do that every day. You can do that. As I mentioned, with the Organica collagen supplement, you're getting the collagen, which is a great protein source, and you're getting that support for hair, skin, nails, and joints, depending on which one you're taking. With the bone broth, that's added benefits. You're getting some collagen in there, but you're also getting those minerals, those vitamins, a little bit of collagen and nutrients. So they are a little bit different, but it's totally fine to take together. Which carbs are the healthiest? That's a great question too. So a lot of times nutritionists will break it down into simple carbs, complex carbs. Basically, your complex carbs are the ones that are going to be broken down slower, and they usually have more fiber. So that's great. Complex carbs would be, your grains, your vegetables, and things like that. Your simple carbs are more processed. So honey, jams, pastas, breads, and those are the ones we want to avoid. So, and just have as a treat once in a while, because all those processed carbs are really hard because they turn to sugar so fast and they produce that insulin spike. And it's horrible when our body gets on that roller coaster. So you want the complex carbs. This is the next question. Do you recommend taking both broth and veggie broth in the powder form or liquid? So I recommend taking bone broth and veggie broth in the powder form. Organica has a great veggie and bone broth in beef and chicken. And you said or liquid. Okay, so I think what you mean is other brands that might make liquid ones. As long as it's clean, and it's definitely preference. I love the convenience of the Organica powdered broths because you can take it on the go, you can travel with it, and it's dried, so it's easy to take. But if it's a clean source liquid one that comes in a container or something like that, you just want to look for that it's grass fed and all those things that I mentioned in the presentation. And you want to just make your personal decision on that one. Okay, so someone here says, thank you for this information. I'm not a fan of chicken. Does the broths come separately as chicken or beef or combination? So great question. Yes, they come separate. The chicken broth, as you can see in the slide, the last slide here, the Healthy Planet has a bonus size right now of the original chicken broth and the full spectrum collagen. So that's something that's new, and it's a bigger size. I think it's 500 grams of the full spectrum collagen and 600 or 650 of the bone broth. So that's fabulous. But the yellowish orangish label for the broth is chicken broth, and then the purple label, which you saw in some previous slides, is the beef broth. So I will note that when you're making a broth, say I'm making chicken broth as a tea and I'm adding my hot water, stir it up, it mixes quite easily. The beef broth, you'll need to stir a little bit longer, give it a little bit more love, because beef has more gelatin. Nothing wrong with it, it just has to be stirred a little bit more, which is just more of that gelatin in there, more of those added benefits. So don't be alarmed. Sometimes when people have been using the chicken and then they switch to the beef, they're like, oh, the beef doesn't stir. Well, chicken stirs a little bit easier, but just 30 seconds more is all you need. And it's super nutritious and all still good. So does it taste or smell like chicken? I cannot eat chicken soup. So it does taste like chicken. I love, if you love chicken broths and chicken soups, you will like it. It does taste like chicken because it is chicken bone broth. Does collagen have side effects? No, you know what? I would start taking collagen as recommended, start at that 10-gram dose. And usually if you're just taking the recommended amount per day, shouldn't have any side effects unless someone has, some digestive issues or some allergies or some things, I'd always check with your doctor first. But most people are totally fine to take the collagen. It's pretty easy to take. And like I said, it's really clean. It's 100% hydrolyzed. You absorb it really well. You definitely want to have a good brand like Organica that goes through all this testing and all this clean manufacturing. What is the best time of day to take collagen? Wow, great question. Lots of good questions tonight. Anytime. I know people that have bone broth and collagen mixed together first thing in the morning for gut health. You can take it any time of day. There's no caffeine in it. Sometimes people after dinner, they say, oh, I just feel like I want to have something. I'm a little peckish. That's a great time to take collagen. Make a nice latte, make a nice latte that's caffeine free before bed. Gives you that little bit of protein. Sometimes people wake up in the middle of the night because their blood sugar is a little bit uneven, and that protein before bed from the collagen will buffer that insulin spike from anything you had during the day and keep your blood sugar even. Some people who complain of waking up a lot in the night, maybe they need a little bit of protein before bed. So this would be a great time to take collagen before bed. But of course, any time of day, in the morning, noon, and night, it is fabulous. Will having an egg every day be bad for you? Absolutely not. 3 eggs a day is amazing. Eggs, as I mentioned earlier, are a complete protein, which means there's 22 amino acids, and we need all 22 amino acids. Our body only makes 8 of them. We need to get 14 of them from food. So eat eggs. 3 eggs is about 25 grams of protein, and that's a meal. That's great. I love eggs. If you love them, eat them, but make sure the yolk is runny. I think someone said, can we get a transcript of this? I think it is recorded. So I'm pretty sure Healthy Planet will be sending this out. Okay, a couple more questions here. Does one require a requisition from a doctor to test vitamin D at a lab? I don't believe so. I usually ask my doctor for it just when I get my physical every year, but I'm pretty sure you can walk into a Life Labs, pay $35 and get it done. So vitamin D with vitamin K, how does it differ from vitamin D on its own? So that's a great question. So vitamin K is great. It really helps with calcium. It helps with vitamin D. It's one of those great nutrients in the body. Vitamin K helps take calcium to the bones. So we're in what's called a calcium paradox, where we might be consuming a lot of calcium from not so great sources. Like when you're in the grocery store, sometimes you'll see regular brand orange juice that's calcium fortified. We're getting a lot of low level calcium from foods like breads and juices that have just dumped in the bottom of the barrel calcium just for marketing. So a lot of people are getting calcium deposits in their body. So that's not great. So that's what we're in now, is kind of called a calcium paradox. So vitamin K is important because it takes calcium into the bones where it needs to be, doesn't deposit it elsewhere in the body. So I would say that vitamin D with K is great. Not everyone needs that because they may be getting enough vitamin K in their diet, or they might not need to supplement with vitamin K. So vitamin D on its own is fabulous. And for some people, with vitamin K is fine too. Can you take collagen if you're pregnant or breastfeeding? Yes, you can, but of course you always want to check with your doctor just to make sure. But I know lots of pregnant mamas that take it and love it. And they work at Organica too. Is there a shake powder that is all green vegetables to make a morning smoothie? There's probably so many great shake powders out there. I think you're meaning like a protein powder, shake powder. I love just collagen on its own. Sometimes I've tried different shake powders or protein powders, and so, some of them have unique flavors and tastes and stuff, but I just love the collagen. It's odorless flavors. I can add it to my smoothie and make my smoothie how I want, and then the shake flavor doesn't overpower it. But of course, there are many shake powders that are all green vegetables, tons, and you could add collagen to it or not, but you can make your own shake powder throw some spinach or kale in there. But yeah, it's definitely you can do whatever you like. Organica doesn't make a totally green shake powder. We do have a green spirulina and a green chlorella powder, which is an algae, which is fabulous. But that's another webinar. Okay. Yes, good question about zinc. Should it be taken on an ongoing basis for immune boosting? So zinc is great to be taking on an ongoing basis. You want to make sure it doesn't, the question is, is it safe to take and not imbalance copper? So sometimes if we take too much zinc, 40 milligrams a day is the recommended. If we take more than that, sometimes we can interfere with our copper absorption, or copper levels. So 50 milligrams is usually fine. Like I mentioned before, I was giving my kids 25 milligrams because of just some skin breakouts, and it's fabulous. You can definitely use 15 a day. But of course, check with your naturopath, check with your doctor always, just to be sure. Everyone's biologically unique, so you always want to check with them to be sure. Bee propolis, can I take it on an ongoing basis? Yes, it's fabulous. It's immune booster and builder. You may just want to take it, when you're feeling those, sore throats, or you want that immune health. It's great to use as needed as well. Does collagen break a fast? Great question. Unfortunately, yes, it does, because there is protein in there, and protein breaks a fast. And there are some good calories in there, and there are no carbs, but protein does break a fast. So what about, is there a difference between liquid versus powder bone broth? I drink liquid, but I may try powder now. I'm not familiar with a lot of the liquids out there, but just what I was saying, if you're looking, you want to look for a really clean source. And that's what I was talking about with Organica, or sourcing, non-GMO, everything is really clean, because you want to, it's what you do every day, not once in a while. So you don't want, like, I'll give you an example. My kids love bananas. Okay. Bananas are cheap for the most part. Organic, I always buy, because they eat so many of them. They make banana boats with almond butter. They do all kinds of stuff. They put them in their shakes. They take them before hockey. It's like banana crazy here. So I buy organic bananas because we're eating them a lot. If I was at the grocery store and I needed something crazy like an eggplant, and there was no organic eggplant, I think I'd be okay maybe with using a conventional one, because I'm not doing that every day. Okay. So we do what we can. Not everyone can buy organic all the time, but if it's something that you are consuming a lot, like bone broth or collagen, bananas, you want to make sure you have a clean source. What can I take before bed to keep me asleep overnight without breaking a fast? Can I take? Well, if you're sleeping through the night, you're fasting. And if as soon as you start eating again, you break a fast, or as soon as you start consuming some calories, you will break a fast. So I'm not, just eat your dinner before bed, and whenever you stop eating, that's when your fast is. So if you're waking up in the night, a little bit of protein is great before you stop your fast, before you go to bed. And sometimes if people are eating a lot of sugar or caffeine through the day, that will wake them up. Sometimes people have adrenal fatigue. That's another webinar in itself, which I will be covering in the future. But yeah, sleep is a webinar in itself. So definitely you can have anything you want before bed. I would stick to more proteins and good fats. I would stay away from the carb, sugar, alcohol, and caffeine, and hopefully that'll give you a good night's sleep. Sometimes if there's a little adrenal fatigue, that could wake people up, but that's another issue on its own. Another question, is vitamin K sold on its own? Yes, I believe it is. And there's one more question. Can I take bee propolis if you're allergic to bee stings? I've heard that you can, yes, for sure. And you just, because it's not a bee, it's the resin that we're taking, it's the propolis. But just, check with your doctor. I would check with them first just to make sure. And that is all the questions for tonight. Oh my gosh, lots of great questions. Thanks everyone for joining. I know everyone is busy and probably needs to get going, but there were so many great questions and I hope you guys learned a little bit tonight. And don't forget, all Organica Immune products, 20% off for the whole month of February. That's awesome. So get your bone broth, get your collagen. The staff at Healthy Planet is great to help with any questions as well. So everyone have a fabulous night and hope to see you soon. Bye for now.